So you look strong and sturdy. And I was like, so then I'm thinking in my head, like, why? First of all, my question is, why do y'all keep saying that? Like, what kind? Y'all trying to mount me? Like, what kind of mountain y'all trying to do? At least take me to dinner first. They only had three people. That's why they were able to talk a little longer and have us black folks. We gonna have at least 5 or 6 people, and then want to tell them 2 minutes each. They gon' 2 minutes. Me, do I feel like I needed more time before dating and feel like I'm ready to date or ready for? And I told her, yeah, I think I do. But at the same time, I feel like I'm just like suspended in midair right now because I don't know where I am. Not just in the dating where I know right now I'm not ready to date. And it's not really giving me, what I need anymore. And I was just like, it's time to move on. I'm in a different season of my life, and I may need a different therapist for this season of my life, and that's something. What's up, y'all, and welcome to the Fearless Perspective Show. I'm your host, Julia, and as you know, this is where you come to hear what common sense sounds like, unfiltered thoughts, say the things you think. I'ma say it. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm probably thinking the same things you thinking. Or what you just come in here to hear some fearless perspectives on some things, on real life experiences. And we're just trying to overcome life my one experience at a time. You know what I'm saying? So again, if you are new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. Have a good time. It's gonna be a good time because I just come to talk to y'all, and I just talk to y'all from my perspective of things, from my experiences, and I can only be me. You know what I'm saying? So my commentary and things and delivery is, it's just straight up and honest. And I'm not here to try to offend anybody. That's not never my intention is to offend anyone. But I know people are easily offended. But just let you know, if you are offended, find out why you're offended. What I said, what part made you offended and why, and then try to figure that out. But just know that I'm not here to try to offend anybody. All right. Like one of my pastors used to say, if you offended, be offended, but be corrected. You know what I'm saying? Like, seriously, that's what I said. So try to figure out why are you offended, especially if I'm not trying to be offensive. Like, but again, people are just tender. I was saying that old term they used to say back in the day. He's a little tender, like, hey, boy, gay. That's what they used to say for back in the day. Oh God, I love it. But yeah, but again, I'm not here to, I'm just here to be straight up and honest, and and give things how I perceive things, and through my life experiences or whatnot, or the world, or just to even give you a different perspective on something you may already know. You know what I'm saying? Just whatever. And then to all of those who have been rocking with me since season 1, or you couple episodes in this season, thank y'all for real. Thank you guys for real. I appreciate it. Listen, I depend on the YouTube algorithm to do its work because, I always post, like, come on, y'all, share, reshare. And people don't. So, and that's just a realness, but we share other people's real who we don't even damn know. You know what I'm saying? There needs to be a study on that. But then again, I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, but I appreciate y'all who do share everything, who tune in and tell me you tuned in or you catching up. Like, I be appreciating that now because it be coming from people that I wouldn't even have expected to watch the show. And I just be like, thank y'all. And man, y'all trying to catch up. So that means y'all be liking listening to what I have to say a little bit. I appreciate y'all. No, for real, I do. I really do. Because again, I feel like we are a village in a community and we are trying to build something. I'm just being straight up because we have so many. There are a lot of podcasts out there. There are a lot of shows out there. Everybody is virtual, everything, and that's because we always have our phones in our hand. You know what I'm saying? And everything is on social media, a YouTube platform, or we have access to our streaming platforms. And so it's just like, hey, we have access to everything. So, why not, start a show and get on here and say what you have to say. And you know what I'm saying? Because there is an audience out there that does want to hear what you have to say and that will rock with you. But I need y'all's help. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you believe in me, if you've been rocking with me, if you believe in me, Like, share it. Like, y'all check my homegirl's podcast out or check this chick out. You know what I'm saying? She all right. You know what I'm saying? Or share some of my clips. Like, I'm serious. Like, I'm just being straight up with y'all. And because, like I said, we get on social media. I know because I share so much stuff on my Instagram story. If I'm not talking, I'm reposting something, and that is what a reel that I've took from somebody that I don't even know, and I shared it because I related to it. It was funny, or it's something that I'm like, yo, I want to share this good vibe or this good energy because, like, I know a lot of my followers are not musicians. I am a musician, so I love music. I love groove. I love locking in. I love that. So when I come across something like that, and sometimes I'm like, man, I don't want to share this because they ain't, my people that follow me, they ain't really into that. But I'll be like, no, forget that. I rock with it. I want them to feel this good energy. They gonna feel it somehow. They ain't gonna feel it the way I feel it, but I know they might rock with it. I just share it because I want y'all to feel what I'm feeling. Same thing with this. If you rock with with this show, and you see and you follow the show's page on IG at the Fearless Perspective Show, and you see that I post a reel because you know it comes up on your damn news feed and your timeline and your stories. Just reshare it. That's all. That's it. You ain't gotta explain like unless you gotta explain to somebody why you listen to me. Then you might want to think about that. But no, but like for real. So I look at it like that. But it's cool. It is what it is. That's why I say I just rely on the YouTube algorithm to do its thing, to get me into the right ears and get me into the right audience so we can broaden this thing out. You know what I'm saying? Because I do believe that there is a good community out there for us. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, enough of that. So I love y'all and I appreciate y'all for, again, lending me your listening and your watch hours here at the Fearless Perspective Show. However you vibing, whether you just listening to it, whether you watching it, however you getting your shows and your podcast platforms, thank you. Appreciate y'all for real. So as you know, as we come to the segment, we usually come a little earlier, but you know what I'm saying? I was ranting about stuff, but it is the pour up and pull up on me. You know what I'm saying? We always gonna pour up and pull up. And again, you already know what I say. It can be whatever your drink of choice is. It doesn't have to be alcoholic or a cocktail or anything like that. It can be whatever. But just when you listen to or watch this show, I want you to chill. Like, because that's what we doing. We just here at the crib and we just in my little space. You know what I'm saying? It's a cool space. It's my vibe. And I want y'all to vibe with me because all y'all can't come to my house. Ooh. 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 Mm-hmm. Hey, girl. It's a good tequila sunrise. Y'all know I like the sunrise. I don't know why I like that old ass drink, but I like the sunrise. But yeah. But anyway, y'all. So yeah, so I hope y'all have been doing good, like for real. It's been hot as hell here in Atlanta, Georgia. It's been raining every day. It's storming today. It's just been rain every day, and I know that's been everywhere. And I know there's been a lot of travesty everywhere, a lot of flooding, in areas that it doesn't usually flood. Me and my friend were talking about that 'cause she's from up north, and I'm from the Midwest, and they got rain and they got flooding out there. And she was like, yo, that don't never happen. And I was like, yo, it's been like flooding in Detroit. And Michigan doesn't usually flood like that. Like, nah, not like that. But it has been lately. And so we like, man, it's been raining like crazy. And then all these other floods everywhere else. And I'm just like in these storms. I'm just like, man, God, what is going on? So it's just like, it's been rain every day. So you just kind of really got to plan your day around, the rain. Or it's really hot. I mean, golly, this weekend was so hot. So hot. I mean, I didn't even want to leave the house. It was hot, but I did get out on Saturday, did some things. It was hot. Sunday, oh yeah, yeah. So Sunday, I gotta tell you about Sunday. So let me tell y'all. So Sunday, it was hot. Okay, and this is why I tie it in because I ended up wearing all black on Sunday. I had a funeral for one of my previous coworkers, from my old job, and he was a cool guy. Like if you watched my stories, I talked to y'all really about it and just how he was. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't one of us. He wasn't a black guy. He was a cool white dude. Um, that was just a little quirky. You know what I'm saying? He was cool. I was cool with him. You know, it was one of them, I will say, people when he joined our team, people were a little hesitant of him, because of his appearance. And I can understand, but I'm like, I went to school with people like him. You know what I'm saying? The long, kind of shoulder length, kind of unkept hair, um, he just didn't really care, about his appearance, but you got to talk to him and he was such a good person. Like he had a good heart, man, like for real. Like that's what they always talked about at his funeral. So anyway, he passed away. They hit me up and it was like, "Hey, he passed." And I was like, "Man, it kind of bothered me because he and I we really talked. Like we would talk in the office, we would talk, like catch up and just kind of share some things. And so I knew he was kind of going through some things. So I was like, man, my heart was like, I hope he didn't, you know what I'm saying, just take the hopeless way out. You know what I'm saying? But whatever, I hope he's at peace, And so so we were at the funeral. So me and my coworkers, we decided we were going to go to the funeral. And I was like, okay, cool, I'll go. And so for me, I'm like, okay, I'm used to going to black funerals because growing up as a musician in church, I went to more funerals for people I didn't know than for people I knew. Thank God, you know what I'm saying. But it's because I had to always play drums at them. Hey, we need, they need the band, or can you play? Can you. Okay, cool. And all through, when I lived in Houston, I played at funerals, a few funerals. Um, and and I was just like, funerals, black funerals are different. So I've never really been to a white funeral, and I was just like, okay, so I'm thinking because, us black people, we get dressed, and I understand, like, even I learned, like, even when lived in Houston, that everybody doesn't dress up for funerals, you know what I'm saying? Or everybody doesn't know to dress, that whatever. I don't think there is a funeral attire. I just think, you wear what you got. And that's what I always boiled it down to. I was like, maybe they wore what they got, but they just came to pay their respects. Who said you had to, I'm pretty sure somebody's going to tell me that came with old tradition from back in our day of respecting the day. And I get that, but I'm just saying in present day time, so I was just like, okay, well, I've seen, stuff even on TV, white people, they may not dress up for a funeral. So I was like, okay, well, cool. I'll go. I ain't got to dress up. I can wear some nice jeans. I wasn't going to wear nothing like this or something like I'm going to kick it. And no, I was going to wear some nice fitting jeans, a nice shirt, and some nice shoes. Cool. It was going to, and so my coworkers are like, the day of, they're like, I'm going to wear, blouse and, some slacks and stuff. And I'm looking at my phone like, what? And then another coworker, I was like, "What you wearing?" She was like, "I'm gonna wear a little pencil skirt, but I'm not gonna wear no heels. I'm just gonna wear some slides, but I'm gonna wear a little pencil skirt dress." Da, da, da. And then they were like, "Julie," I was like, "Well, I was just gonna put on jeans and a shirt." And it was like, "You can put on some slides." I was like, "All right, okay, God, yeah," because y'all going, okay, let me, one of my coworkers, she was like, we show up how we show up, how we do," and I was like, okay. But us, we can't just, I was like, okay, I don't really have a lot of dress clothes because again, since I've moved to Georgia, I have not had to dress up for church. I've only been to one church, and that's the church I go to, and we don't have to dress up at all. Like, I think my pastor only dresses up maybe first Sunday when he's in, the bishop's attire. That's it. No, he don't be dressed up unless it's a special occasion, but he have on a nice suit. But yeah, he be kicking it. And I don't dress up to go to church. I don't. And so, but I had to buy, some kind of dressier clothes last year because I had a wedding to go to and then a birthday party. So I was like, okay, cool. And I like dress clothes, but I just don't wear them. But anyway, so I was like, okay, well, I do have all black and it's clean and it's, and I couldn't just be simple, so, even though it was simple, we had to put on the nice belt. You know what I'm saying? We had to, put on, it's just, the frames, I was clean, you know what I'm saying? So it was cool. So I was just like, all right, but it was so hot. So we get to the funeral. Funeral started at 3. It was like an hour away from all of us because it was out in McDonough, right? So we get there. We all pull up at the same time. We get there. We go in to the funeral home. Funeral started at 3. This guy had just gotten up to talk. And this is what I discovered in that funeral, a difference between the white and the black funerals. So this guy got up. He was talking for a long time. And we were kind of looking around like, talking a long time, ain't it? Like, and he talked. I mean, he spoke well. He spoke very well, of his friend and stuff. But it was like, so for me, I talked about this the other day on my stories on IG. For me, the musician in me and the etiquette that I have been in funerals has been, I'm looking for the musician to start playing the music to let you know, hey, you need to wrap it up, wind it down, stop talking. You're talking a bit much. Let's wrap it up. I'm looking for it because that's what we do. We start playing, the keyboardist or the organist, whoever, it starts playing and we kind of, okay, all right, and it was just, it was none of that because they ain't even have a musician. So there was no musicians, no singers, right? So I'm like, oh, yo, and then, we were waiting on, because when we got to the table, after this funeral, we went to eat and we talked about it because it was funny because we all had the same like why was so that was the first situation where we were like, dang, they talked a long time, didn't they? But I told them, I said, you know what, I figured this out in the funeral. That funeral was only an hour and they had 3 people. They only had 3 people talk. They only had 3 people. That's why they were able to talk a little longer and have us black folks, we gonna have at least 5 or 6 people and then want to tell them 2 minutes each. They gonna 2 minutes? You asking me to give 2 minutes? Man, please. No one was up there for 2 minutes. It was only 3 people that spoke. It was that guy. No, it was 4. It was 3. It was a guy. He spoke for a long time. Then after that, his other childhood friend spoke. He spoke for a few minutes. He didn't speak that long. And then it was this black lady. She was awesome. She was a storyteller. And she gave this amazing, beautiful story about it. And she wasn't long either. I wanted more of her story because I was like, she is good at storytelling. Like it was beautiful. But they were done. And then, the lady that was officiating and did the eulogy, she was talking, and so we sitting there. So he's sitting there and she's, eulogizing him and she's talking like very specific things about him, like she knew, things that she witnessed and stuff. And I was just like, oh, okay. But I was on my Kroger app. I was ordering my groceries, for pickup. So I'm listening to her and I'm like, okay, she talking good. She's, And then she had the nerve to say, but I didn't know him. I didn't know him personally. I didn't have a time. So I'm sitting there scrolling and I said, and I just put my head back down because I was like, don't none of these people know me. My coworkers, I laugh in funerals. I do. I'm telling you, I laugh anywhere. Cause I'm always going to find something funny laughing. Cause I wanted to say, I'm so glad. I'm so glad my friend Billy was not with me, because when that lady said she didn't know him after giving all these specifics, I would have looked at him. He probably looked at me and be like, she didn't know him. And she up here, they couldn't find nobody that knew him to eulogize him. Like, we would have. And so I started kind of giggling because I was like, and I just went back to scrolling and put my groceries in the cart because I said, lady, I would have never said that. I would have never told that. Because she was giving like experiences, like examples of experiences, like she was there. And I'm like, you didn't know him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was so funny to me. So when we got to the table, um, when we got to the table, we were talking about, we was like, wait a minute, y'all. So about this funeral. So they started, and I was like, what? And they was like, so how come they ain't have a lot of people speak and they talk for a long time? I said, that's because we get a bunch of people and limit them to 2 minutes. And then my coworker was like, okay, and I was wondering why ain't nobody get up and say, okay, that's enough time. I said, because that's what we do. Y'all can't give people 2 minutes. Especially like y'all can't give 2 minutes. You're gonna have to limit your people, the amount of people down to certain type of people for these funerals, and then give them a little bit more time. Because then you're gonna end up with like viral fights at funerals, come on, cut that out. Everybody, you don't need all these people to talk. Or also what you can do then is do a video collage of people doing, hey, sending our condolences from such and such and such. You can do that or whatever, but don't have people try to come up to the mic for 2 minutes and then try to play them down. But let me tell you something. We was out of that funeral in an hour. Yep, we was out of there by 4 o'clock. Yep, because we stood around, we talked for a little bit to other people, and I'm glad I dressed up because they did dress up. They did. They dressed up. A lot of they did, and I'm glad I dressed up because I would have felt so bad. I didn't see any. Well, I saw like some of his family. They were like kind of in how they dressed in their jeans and stuff. But yeah, but his mom and dad, they were nice, and dressed nice and everybody, so I was like, okay, I'm glad I did put some clothes on, and then, but it was so hot outside and I was just like, I couldn't wait to drive all the way home just to get out of those black church clothes. And they're not church clothes, but but yeah, it was just crazy. It was really, really insane. I was just like, yo, this is like we were in and out of hour. Black people, our funeral is gonna be 2 hours because we're gonna start with the walking in, and that's gonna take a long time because it's gonna be a bunch of people. Then you're gonna start, the scripture reading at the top of the service, and then you're gonna, have, somebody gonna sing, and then somebody gonna talk. And then it's gonna be a lot of stuff, and then somebody gonna sing again. Then they're gonna start shouting and bumping, and churching and everything, and um then they're gonna have somebody read all the condolences and everything, and then they're gonna have somebody else come for to try to give 2 minute words, about 5 or 6 people, and then it's gonna be somebody's turn to preach. Maybe somebody might sing again before, but then somebody's turn to do the eulogy, and then after the eulogy, they may preach real hard, but they're not gonna preach too long because they know they cutting time close, and the funeral home got to get them out and get them to the graveside. But it's still gonna be about 2 hours. I think I got it all. Yeah. And then it depends. You might have somebody falling out and doing all of that stuff too. So yeah, it's about 2 hours, but it's gonna be a good time. And then the food afterwards, if you stay, for the repast, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good funeral food. I'm for real. But y'all, let me tell y'all something. I never told y'all this story, so we got a lot. We got a few things to talk about today. It's cool though. So I told this story back in February on my IG story. So I'm like, y'all got to follow me on my social media on Instagram because I do a lot of story time on my stories. I know I should be doing more on TikTok, but I don't know why I don't feel like doing them on TikTok. I don't know. I guess because after 24 hours they gone. I guess I don't know, but it don't matter. But anyway, so back in February, so let me y'all check this out. Like I swear, some of the weirdest stuff always happens to me, and I don't even be going to look for nothing. I don't. I just be where I'm supposed to be, or where I plan to be, and boom, and just be like, yo, I for real, I understand that meme or that video where it looks like, me looking at the imaginary camera, like when some stupid shit happened, like, yo, you gotta be kidding me. Like, I for real wish like a lot of times the camera could just be around me because it's always some shit. It's always somebody saying something crazy or crazy incident or whatever. So anyway, so I'm okay. So this incident was in it was on actually February 13th. And so it was my therapy session, with my therapist. And so at that time, I had already been kind of contemplating, like, I think I need to get another therapist because, she wasn't really helping me in a way. Like I was healing and doing better and stuff in my situation, mostly on my own. You know what I'm saying? Through taking time to myself and doing a lot of self realizations, becoming more self aware, taking a lot of accountability for things. I just really, and I, cause she just really didn't like our sessions were only on the phone. Um, and I was cool with that. I don't need to go physically anywhere. I can talk to you. We can talk on the phone as long as you're doing what you're supposed to. But it was just always like primarily me just talking. And I'm like, yo, and then she'll give her, opinion on things here and there, but it was just mostly talking. And I'm just like, you know, you're not you're not giving me anything like, any therapy, anything to really think about, anything to really consider or to a different perspective on things. You're not like, and it wasn't until I really started kind of telling her like, I need this. I need, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, if you're hearing about the things that I'm talking about and you know my situation, why are you not, I know you're glad that the breakup happened because you didn't feel she was for me anyway. Okay, I get that. But still like and then too, I also felt like she was getting too close. She had gotten too close. She had started following me on TikTok one time and then I was confused because I was like, is that her? Like, because the name was different, but the picture was her. And I was just like, and so I asked her one day, we were talking about something laughing, and I was like, what you doing on my TikTok? Oh, I did it. And I said, nah. Like, you don't, huh? What? Why are you following me on social media? Like she will always tell me, let me know when the podcast is released. I'll watch that. Okay, that you might be, that's fine, but I don't want you following me on social media. Like, you're my therapist. You're gonna be like, well, you posted such and such the other day, but today you feel it. No, like, no, like, bitch, I'm human. You know that. Like, no, I just, but nah. And so I removed her. And then shortly, like again after that, she followed me again, and I was like, why are you what? Like, you don't see that this is kind of like a conflict of interest? Like, this is too close. Like, this is too comfortable. You gotten too comfortable. And that's what I realized. And so I was like, okay, you know what? Because this is not working. So I'm on, I had been telling one of my friends, I was like, I think I'm about to try to find another therapist, you know what I'm saying? Because mine is not really giving me, what I need anymore. And I was just like, it's time to move on. I'm in a different season of my life, and I may need a different therapist for this season of my life, and that's something I had to realize and be okay with. But let me tell you what did it for me. February 13th, we were on a session, right? And so she was already, like I said, on the phone with me during a session where her daughter had dance. So she's just sitting outside the dance studio or wherever they have dance, whatever. And she's talking to me. Cool. Not a problem. So there have been times where, she had to talk, hold on one second, and yell some things to her daughter, go in there, whatever. Fine. I understand. Cool. Long as I still have your attention, and you're doing what you're supposed to, but no. Y'all, so I'm on the phone, we talking, and I'm telling her I'm pissed off as it is because I'm going through, this is the early days of my inflammation situation. My hands are hurting, swollen. I actually just drove all the way from Dunwoody to Conyers from work. So my hands, I mean, everything was just tore up, like, ate up. So I'm already in pain. I really don't want to do this session because you're not helping me. You're not, you know what I'm saying? Cool, but let's just do it because I don't know. I keep giving people chances to do to show up, and they keep failing, and I keep, you know what I'm saying? And even with her, I kept saying, well, no, she's been with me, for a couple years through, through this and da 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 da, and it's just me trying to be loyal, but it was no longer serving me. And it was nothing against her. It was just no longer serving me, but I kept giving her a chance each time to show up as my fucking therapist. And she wasn't. And so this is what did it. I got so pissed off because we sitting there, we talking. Oh, I'm talking. All of a sudden I hear, oh my God, what? Oh my goodness. I know this is not who I think it is. Oh yeah, because she was talking to her daughter about something, about going to something. And she was like, look and see you see who that is? And she was like, why my ex pulling up on me? I told him I had to work. Why he pulling up on me? And I was like, so I got quiet and I was just like, and then she's just like, what did she say? I'm waiting on her to be like, you know what? Let me tell him I'm working and I'll be with him, just one more. I would have been cool with that. I would have been cool with that. No. This chick said, "Oh my God, why is he pulling? I know. Oh, he trying to pull up because tomorrow is Valentine's Day. I know what he doing. I know. Oh my gosh. And this is the ex that you told me you ain't talked to in a while from, I don't know, whatever." I said, okay. And I get quiet. I stop talking. I'm not even responding to you telling me this is your ex pulling up and all of this. I didn't even engage or respond to anything you're saying because I'm giving you the space and the opportunity to be a professional and say, hold on one moment. Let me let him know I'm working or blah, 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 blah. Cool. No, not at all. You say, oh my goodness, let me, and she was like, you know what? And she's just talking and talking. And then I finally say, you know what? Why don't you go handle that? Anytime I tell anybody, you go and handle that. That's what I want you to do. But just know, it ain't cool. It ain't cool. And I said, yeah, you go ahead and handle that. Just like that. I wasn't even like, all right, well, you go ahead and I was so dry and over it, annoyed because I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, nah, you go ahead and handle that. Okay. Instead of saying, no, she was out. Okay. Hung up. I couldn't believe, I was like, are you kidding me? I was on my IG story like this. Y'all not gonna believe what's happening. Like this life right now, at that point, I was like, life cannot be any more funnier. Like the joke has been on me. Like, what the hell? Like, come on. Like, it was crazy. And I was just like, you know what? Don't worry about it. It's cool. And then my friend even, because I had just got off the phone with one of my good friends before my session. I was like, I gotta go. I got my therapy session. Cool. I said, I'm gonna call you back afterwards or whatever. I called her back early because we weren't even in the session for a good 20 minutes before all of this happened. I called my friend back. She was like, what? Wait, what happened? I was like, no, I'm done. Like, I'm done with her. She didn't even, after that, she didn't even text or call back to say, I'm sorry. Can we reschedule or nothing? Nothing. And then my friend kept asking, you still ain't heard from her? She ain't called? No. And then our next session, I canceled because I was like, no, I'm straight. And she ain't even check in. Is everything okay? Nothing. That's why I was like, girl, you weren't even paying. You was, no, let me give you your time back and give me my time back. I'm going to find, because I want to find a new therapist anyway. It's time for me to find a new therapist. I just needed that shit to happen because I didn't know how to let the fuck go. No, now shit. No, I'm doing what's best for me. Even with my haircuts, I speak up for myself. I do. I be like, okay, this is how I like my edge up. This is how I like my blend. This is how I like my cut. Cause I gotta wear the shit. Seriously, I gotta walk around and be cool because a bad haircut can mess up your whole mood for days and weeks if you gotta let it grow back. So no, I'm tired. No, and I'm paying you. No, this is how I like to wear my hair. Can you do it this way? Yes. Okay. I'm speaking up because I'm paying you for your services, and this is what I like. I gotta wear this stuff. So the same difference. Like, nah, I gotta make sure I'm with a therapist that's helping me in this season of my life. Especially now, I'm like, okay, now it's time for me to really find a new one because I'm like, I stopped going to her. Wait, like when I got my new job, I was so glad because I was like, I got the job. I gotta figure out the insurance. I wasn't going back to her. Because I went back to her, I think like one more time after that. Yeah. And that was only because I needed her to fill out some paperwork because I was about to go on leave again for my other job. Not leave. I was trying to get some FMLA. I wasn't about to go on leave. I needed to renew my FMLA. That's what it was. And so I was like, damn, I gotta talk to her. Let me talk to her. Just so, until the meantime while I found another therapist. Yes. No. No, that was so unprofessional. That pissed me off so bad. And I didn't even tell her. I didn't even mention it to her. I was like, cause you acting like you the therapist and you acting like what you did was okay. And yeah, I should have been the bigger person and called her out like that was not okay. But I was like, no, I'm good because I don't care because I don't want to continue on with her as my therapist. So we good. I don't care. But yeah, so that was the craziest thing. Like everybody, like, you fired your therapist. She was on her way out anyway. She just resigned. She ain't even know she made it easier for me because again, I just be like, yo, I be nah, we got history. No, fuck that shit. All that shit is out the door. I gotta do what's best for me. I need a therapist that make me think. You know what I'm saying? I need a therapist. Yeah, she gave me some cool tools and I've healed a whole lot. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because talking to her, shit was very therapeutic. I can get that shit out and then you know what I'm saying, she'll tell me if I was right or wrong in some stuff or whatever here and there. But I'm like, I need a session to, where we come back. Well, let's circle back to last session. You said you felt da 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 da. Da. How have you been since then? How what happened since then with that? It was none of that. It was so what's new? What's been up? Shit, nothing, just working every day. It wasn't how you feeling, like where you at? What no. But I'm good. But I'll tell you, it's still some stuff I need to work through, and I'm learning that, especially in this new transition in this place that I'm in right now. There are some things that I still need to work on. Like it's crazy because uh the other day we were talking. A friend of mine and I talked about it last episode where she asked me, do I feel like I needed more time before dating and feel like I'm ready to date or ready for, and I told her, yeah, I think I do. But at the same time, I feel like I'm just like suspended in midair right now because I don't know where I am, not just in the dating where I know right now I'm not ready to date. I'm not. So not there, but just in life. I just feel like I'm just suspended in midair while taking punches at the same time. But it's just like, where to next? Are we just here or are we actually moving somewhere? But I can't feel it. I can't see it. It doesn't look like it doesn't appear that I'm moving, making any forward progress. But am I actually moving? I don't know. But that's why I just feel like I'm just suspended in midair. And because of that, I know I'm not in a place to where I can give someone the emotional support and the emotional attention that they may need at this time. I can't because I'm still trying to figure out what the fuck. Like, serious. That is my exact sentiment. What the fuck? Like, and I tried to. And some days I be asking God, be like, man, is you for real, dog? Like, and then that's what I say. Is this for real? Come on, man. Like, seriously, because it's just like, come on, where is life right now? Where is it? Because it feels like everything is passing me by. It feels like, the seasons are changing. We about to be in fall pretty soon. The summer has, I ain't did nothing all summer. But I'll take that back. I moved. I did. I had a birthday and I moved, and I'm so grateful and I'm so thankful, man. I'm in a better place. Like just uh and it's coming together. So I'm like, maybe that's a little bit of progress. Maybe that's the forward steps I'm taking, because I'm like, I'm in my own space. I'm to myself, I'm good. I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? I got a cool job. I got a good job. I got a job where it's no stress. It's no workplace stress like I had at my last job. So God really came through with me on that. I have a lot more freedom. No one is like, you need to be on the phones. It's no phones. It's nothing. You sit there. They know that you're grown. They treat you like you're grown, and they expect for you to act like you're grown. So that makes you like, hey, I'm cool. You cool. I'm cool. That's the kind of job I have, and I'm grateful. They care about us. They tell us in our meetings, make sure you take your PTO. What? Man, nah. What? Man, never. Not at State Farm. Not at my job, my previous job. Hell no. Hell no. If it was no time left in that variant in the system because it was used up for the whole claims department, so you can never have no hours off. Yeah. They may make an exception for you. Nah, fuck y'all, man. Mm-mm. Every Wednesday they give us an extra hour of recharge and restore, or do whatever, as long as it's not work. You can combine it with your lunch and have a 2-hour lunch if you want, or you can take it in, if you got an appointment, you can use it for I'm telling you, I'm grateful. So that makes you want to just be like, yo, I gotta do what's right. Like that micromanaging shit, that never worked for me. That does not make me want to work. That makes me want to be like, no, I ain't doing shit. You do it. And that's what it was at State Farm. So anyway, so it was a lot of I'm grateful for that. But like I said, I'm in a better place. And I'm just like, but I still need a better therapist for where I'm at now and where I believe my life is going. You know what I'm saying? And I just need to make some different connections. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I was just like, you crazy, dog. Like, get out of here. But yeah, so that was that. But it's crazy. But y'all, guess what? So the other day I was at the gym. Charlie, I be having stories for y'all asses. I was at the gym, and I was just like, this is how I know I'm not sure if I'm ready to date. Like, and I know it's all about like, well, you might meet that person and you might, I think that only happens. Nah. I think it happens in different ways for different people. You know what I'm saying? Because your journey is your journey. My journey is my journey. You know, I may not meet that person on that level. That I may just meet my person as a good friend, as a longtime friend. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know. But what I'm saying, I'm open. I am. I haven't closed the door on none of that. Let me make it known. I don't want nobody being like, Julia, she just shut off. She don't want to talk to nobody. She don't want to date nobody. No, I do. I do. I enjoy dating. Dating is fun. It's cool. I ain't gonna say it's fun. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. But I just know I'm not ready to invest that type of energy into anything right now. I can't. I don't have it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm just like, okay. But at the same time, I'm like, yeah, we can hang out. We can have a good time together. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we're gonna have feelings because especially we're women, and we can be cool. Like my sister asked me the other day, and it's funny, my sister asked me, and then this weekend my old coworker asked me the same thing, and it's funny because they were around the same age, and they were like, "So is it in lesbian land?" My sister said, "In lesbian land," and so my other coworker was like, "So in y'all's world?" I mean, like, damn, like it's true, it is our world. So is it? Is why is it so hard, or is it possible for even less for y'all to just even have friends with benefits, friends that y'all just kick it with, and y'all might do stuff with, kick it, hang out, might fuck around, do it. And I told her, I said, it is possible because I know it's possible with me. I believe it's possible. I say I think it is it's possible. The only thing is that we're women. And the reason why, because my coworker was like, y'all fall too fast, too hard. I said, we're women. I said, you're a woman. Y'all are just heterosexual. Y'all are women. And I told my sister the same thing. I said, you just think about how fast you fall emotionally. Y'all fall women, like we are women, all of us. We are emotional people. And if you really like somebody, y'all straight women, y'all probably already thinking about him being your husband. You thinking about him proposing, y'all being getting married, having children, all of that stuff. Y'all already thinking about that. So the only reason why it doesn't take place as fast as it does with us is because y'all are dealing with men. And men are not that emotional. I'll say on that end, they're emotional. Let a woman turn a man down. Guess what he doing? Ready to fight her and pull out a piece of a weapon on her or something. He getting his feeling. So they are emotional. They are emotional. Their egos are bruised. And that's what, but they're not on the emotional side of, you know what, I'm ready to marry her. I'm ready, they not, they may think it, but they're not gonna move on it because I gotta be cool, man. I gotta, I can't fall too fast. That's the only reason why y'all don't fall fast is because y'all dealing with men. They're not emotional on that side. And if they are, then they like, well, they love bombed us. I mean, we look at it like that too now. We're like, hey, you doing too much too fast, bitch. Like, I can't, I've never like moving fast like that. I can tell like if I like somebody. If I like somebody, I'm learning now. If I like somebody, I'm just gonna go, I'm going with it. I like you. Yes, I like you. But what does that mean? Then we talk about it. We have a conversation. That's why we say we're grown. That's why I only want to deal with grown women, 40 and up. I'm not doing nobody else younger than 40. I'm 43. That's 3 years. That's good enough. That's enough. I'm not doing nothing else younger than 3 years younger than me. So it's like, we can have those conversations. We can say, okay, look, yeah, I like you, but right now we just vibing. Let's just see what it is. And that's cool because it doesn't always work like that. Let's just be honest. It does not always work like that. In our world, I will say, I can only speak for our world. If we spend the time, no, I think that's what anybody. No, I take that off the table. I take that off the table. It's anybody. If we spend the time, time is invested, whether we talking on the phone all the time, we seeing each other in person. Excuse me. You know what I'm saying? I'm sending you good morning messages. You sending me good morning, good night, love. I hope you sleep well type stuff. You know what I'm saying? Then yeah, we feel some type of way. But we still need to have a conversation. Okay, we cool. Hey, this is just what it is. I'm cool with it. We ain't gotta try to put no label on it. We ain't even gotta, it ain't no pressure. Cool. But it's hard. I can say it's hard, especially if you really, really like that person. Because somebody's gonna really catch feelings and be ready for you to be like, yeah, let's do this. They may say they not, but you know what I'm saying? So you gotta be careful and you gotta gauge things. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm like. I know I'm not ready to date seriously. And I don't want to hurt nobody. You know what I'm saying? So that's always been me because everybody be like, Julia, I know you got a bunch of chicks because you do. Yeah, I get it. I'm attractive. I get it. I am good looking. And that's another thing I be like be annoyed with. People just assume I have somebody at home. I don't. I am single. I am not. No, I'm not cohabitating with anybody. I ain't doing that no more. I'm not doing that right. Yeah, that's not my situation. That is not my situation. I be chilling at the house, me and my dog. Like I don't have nobody to answer to. I don't have nothing, but I'm just saying, like, yo, I'm cool with where I'm at because I understand I need to be able to still show up for me in a lot of different areas. And I need to remain focused. Like y'all have heard me say, for me, a relationship is a distraction. It will be a distraction right now because I know how I am in a relationship. I get distracted. Cause I'll be like, hey, let's go eat. When I know I may have some editing, I may have some things I need to do, or I have some projects I need to be working on or looking up, or you know what I'm saying? Or I may need to be taking some time to myself to meditate and pray or relax or something. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm just like, you wanna go eat, let's do some. What you doing? I'm not clingy, but I'm always all about my person. if that makes sense. Like, so it's just that's just me. But I just right now I need to focus on me. I need to focus on what I want to do, my goals. I need to focus on trying to, I'm trying to grow this show. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that I can't meet somebody who wouldn't support that and be understanding of that. It's just that I know it's not that. It's just I just don't have the emotional bandwidth right now to give that, on that level because I'm like I got to figure out where the fuck I'm at. And that's just being straight up. Cause once I figure that out and get some other things worked out, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know about anybody else. When my money ain't right, I'm not, my attitude ain't good. You know what I'm saying? So this whole transition, I'm pulling myself out of a hole, doing everything, and I'm being straight up with y'all. So I'm just like, I'm trying to get back to where I am cool, where I'm cool. And until that, and I know people are like, you still gotta live. Yes, you still gotta live. I am still living, but I need to get to a place where I'm cool with like, okay, I'm cool. I can live. I can kick it a little bit. Nah, I'm working on things, and that's why I'm like, what is going on right now? So nah, but this let me tell you something. At the gym the other day, this I was at the gym and just working out, minding my business, doing chest, biceps, and shoulders that day. So it was a good day. It was a good day. I was locked in rather. I'm zoned out, listening to NERD. It was actually 2000. I was listening to 2008 album. I think that's no one ever really dies or whatever. But that's the one with She Wants to Move on It. That's my album. You know what I'm saying? So I'm locked in, like, and I'm in this one area doing some work. And so this, and at this location, because I'm used to Conyers, and there's other locations in Atlanta where it's just predominantly black. So Conyers was just predominantly black. There's some white people there, but it was predominantly black. So this one that I go to is predominantly white, which is cool because I used to go to that one before, but yeah, it's like a range of ages in there, but mostly like older middle aged, older white people and stuff like that. So I'll be cooling in there. So anyway, so I'm in there minding my business. So I go in there. I don't pay attention to nobody really like that because it don't be nobody in there for me to look at because that's not my type. And so I'm in there and this white lady comes and asks me and she's like, are you because I was getting ready to I was wiping up the area and she was like, are you done here? I was like, yeah, I'm good. You're good. I'm straight. Go ahead. Not paying attention because that's just normal gym talk, like that's conversation rather. You done here or you got one more, or how many do you have? But I don't never really, I may look at them, but I don't pay attention to them. I'm like, oh no, you good. Keep going about my business. So that was one of that situation. So I was pretty much almost done with my workout at that point, and then I went into the locker room after. I mean, I went and did some other stuff, and then I went into the locker room to wash my hands so I can leave. So she comes in the locker room. I'm washing my hands at the sink, and she comes in, and she's like, she was like, "Hello, how are you?" And I was like, "I'm good. How you doing?" And I'm like, because she was at first she was looking at me, and I was telling the story the other day. I forgot to tell. She was looking at me, and for me, whenever I go into a woman's locker room, I'm like, here we go. They're gonna think I'm a guy. They're gonna be like, did I go into the right one? Bitch, yeah, you in the right one. You can't read. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because they always think I'm a guy. Like, I hate public restrooms and in the locker rooms. I hate it. I hate it because women are, and I get it. I get it. I got the low cut. I'm not big breasted. I'm just athletic built. That's it. That's it. And I look like a guy. I get it. But golly, so I'm thinking she looking at me like, so I was like, she was like, hey, how you doing? I was like, I'm good. How you doing? And I'm still washing my hands, doing whatever I gotta do. My kids. She was like, "You look strong and sturdy. You're strong." And I was like, and so I've heard somebody tell me before. It was a black chick that told me some years ago here in Atlanta. She was like, "You just look sturdy." And I was bigger then. I was way heavier than I was, and I was, muscular. Right now, I'm small. I like my small size. I do. I'm cool with it. I am no longer trying to put more weight on. I'm cool with this. I am cool. I love it. And so I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, but I'm so small. But I'm like, at the same time, I'm working out, and I was not lifting little bit of weight. You know what I'm saying? I was doing what I do, and so she was like, "You look strong and sturdy," and I was like, "So then I'm thinking in my head, like, why? First of all, my question is, why do y'all keep saying that? Like, what kind? Y'all trying to mount me? Like, what kind of mountain y'all trying to do? At least take me to dinner first. God damn! Like, come on, y'all. I'm strong. I can." Y'all smart. I used to talk to some big women. I used to say you got to be two something to do something, honey. But no, I'm but again, I was bigger. Nah, no, I don't want that. I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I was like, so, but when she said that too, I was thrown off. So this is where I was thrown off at, and I'm about to wrap this shit up. I was thrown off because first of all, I've never had a white woman approach me, like hit on me that I know of. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't look at them like that. It's not my preference. I don't have nothing against them. It's just not my preference. I prefer black women, chocolate women. I prefer some brown. I don't know what it is. It just seemed like y'all just, it ain't seem like, I know. I just love chocolate. I like me a chocolate woman. But anyway, so I wasn't looking at her like that. You know what I'm saying? But energy doesn't lie. Her eyes and her whole energy, when she was looking at me, I was like, wait. And I was confused also too, because I was like, you don't even look like you kick it with black people outside of like maybe the ones you work with. Like I'm cool with y'all because I work with y'all. Like, you know what I'm saying? You don't look like you. What's up? And she was older than me. Oh, yeah, at least she was older than me. I really don't. And the funny thing is, I don't really remember what she looks like because I was so thrown off, like, and I really wasn't paying attention to her. I just know she had dark hair. But I was like, and I drove home in silence because I was like, that lady was really trying to hit on me. And now, I ain't gonna hold you. If it was a black woman that I thought was attractive, I would have given her the energy back. I would have given her that energy back. Cause I like to flirt. I flirt. Flirting is like a sport for me. Y'all can say what y'all want. Flirting is like a sport for me. I enjoy it. Now, I ain't gonna lie. If I'm in a relationship, no, I don't flirt. I'm very respectful. I'm talking about single me. And I was just like, not me, almost, you know, pulling a white sugar mama. Cause she looked like she take care of you. You know, she wasn't giving, you know, mm-mm. And she wasn't giving. I want to talk to the manager vibe. She wasn't giving those vibes though. She didn't have that haircut. I know that's for sure. But she, y'all know that haircut I'm talking about. Because it was a lady at the gym the other day with that haircut with her daughter, and I was like, "Why did you?" I was looking at her daughter like, "Why you let your mama cut her hair like that?" But yeah, I don't know no better. It was funny, but yeah, no, she wasn't. Nah, she didn't give that. But I was like, and I never seen her there before at the times I be going. I go around the same time, but I never seen her there. And so I was like, who is this lady? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I drove home like, nah. And I was like, all right, Julie, you ain't even trying to date nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you ain't got to date her. Cause I said, she ain't gonna get Julia. Cause Julia is when I like you. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I really rock with you. But you gonna get Jay. Cause Jay a motherfucker. I ain't gonna lie. Cause you be done trying to text me, Jay, I want to see you. Jay. Who is it? Why you texting my phone? I can't come see you right now. What you want, girl? Like, that's how I'll be worried. Like, what do you need? And then she started talking about some shit about, I want to take a trip. All you gotta do is come. where we going? Like, no. But then my thing is, I ain't gonna hold you. I've never been with a white woman. I'm just not attracted to them. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I'm not saying like I don't find any attracted. I mean, attractive. I'm just not attracted to them. I've seen some that are very very pretty, nice shape. It was one at the gym. Matter of fact, yesterday. She was cute, cute little white girl, with the like kind, she was a ginger. She had ginger, the wavy hair. I like that wavy hair. But baby, she was short and her when I tell you she had an ass that she worked for. Her thighs and her ass matched. I was like, cause she was doing legs, and I was like, and I had caught her. She had on some tights, and I caught it out the corner of my eye in the mirror, and I was like, "Who ass is that?" And I turned around, I said, "Oh, bitch, that's a white girl." But I wasn't checking for it, like you know what I'm saying. But yeah, they. I don't know. I be seeing. I don't know. They're. I see them that are very pretty. That I see that I'm like, yeah, she's pretty. You know what I'm saying? But I just couldn't. I don't think I would talk to one. And like I said, that's just my preference. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool with them. Definitely cool with them. But yeah, but yeah, she was hitting that. I was like, what? Like there were just so many factors that had me stumped and confused. So I was just I just couldn't handle it. But anyway, but yeah, that was it. So yeah, little story time for y'all asses all day. I mean, I got a story for y'all for days, y'all. Like it is what it is. But again, y'all, thank y'all for tuning in for real. Again, make sure y'all tune in. Every Tuesday, we're dropping an episode, or whenever you decide to watch. Y'all get my watch hours up, get your subscriptions up, tell people about it. We over here, we trying to build this thing, y'all. Cause I ain't gonna forget. Like, come on, y'all. We just trying to. Hey, if you got some suggestions and some topics y'all want me to talk about, let's talk about them. Send them. DM me at the page at Fearless Perspective Show on IG, or you can email me at info at fearlessperspectives.com. All right. Or you can hit me up on my on my IG, I'm sorry, at j.smith517. All right. Just follow me there because it's always story time and a good time over there. I'm always laughing about something. And I use my close friends as I should. Huh. Mm, mm. No tea, no shade, honey. But anyway, I love y'all. I hope you guys take care of yourself. Much love to y'all. Peace.